man are the very laws of God. Because the laws of God does not just guide the people that the law is given to. The law didn't guide. The law of God also what? Guides God. It directs. So that when Moses wants to speak to God, he can say to God what? Far be it from what? From you, that you a just what? God. So the scriptures are the parameters that guides the operations of God. Even God is guided by his word. God does not operate outside the borderline of his what? Of his word. Because God and his word, they are what? They are one. They can't be separated. Are you getting it? And don't forget, the Bible says, wherever the word of a king is, there is what? Huh? There is power. Who can say? It means that the words of a king, they are what? They are laws. So God had been speaking to Moses before now, interacting with him, trying to woo him, sent him to Egypt, and he conquered the gods of Egypt, made a loud statement, silenced powers that have bedeviled the people. He brought them out according to scripture by a mighty hand. When they came to Egypt, the Bible says he smote Leviathan. You are not with me. You are not with me. You see, I told you that everything that God is doing is intentional about it. You remember when the scripture says that there was a shorter route to the promised land? Have you seen it? That there was a shorter route. But the Bible said that they could not bear warfare as at the time. But not just that. That was not just the reason. The reason was because God wanted to judge Leviathan in the belly. Are you with me now? Leviathan that was in the belly of the Red Sea. He wanted to make a statement. I've told you, whenever you see things happen in scripture, look beyond what is there and look deeper. That is what God is trying to say. I told you that for each of the gods, for each of the plagues that happened in Egypt, it was God judging the gods in the land of Egypt, because they were about 10 gods. He had to judge all of them, silencing their power. So when it was time for them to go through the Red Sea, he was trying to make a statement. Are you getting me? So I've forgotten. Is it Isaiah? You will see where Isaiah was speaking as a prophet. He said, "Are thou not he that what? That smitest the what? The dragon that was in the belly of the what? Of the Red Sea." That's to say, when they were going through the Red Sea, God was judging the dragon. This man had seen these mighty things. Things have happened. However, God has not started passing out his laws. For if a man must trap the voice of God, such a man must wait till the voice of God empties him of himself, so that the very thing that will remain when God eventually speaks is God's voice. The reason and the intent of that is so that when you hear the voice of God, it will not be mixed up by what you know. You are not with me. Why God has to quarantine a man for such a long time is so that when he begins to pipe his utterances to that man, the man will not induce it with his own impurities. So God has to keep that man and wash the man, so that when glory comes, are you with me? Glory will